Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our media availability with Chris Stoll. If you guys have any questions for Chris, use the raise hand feature and I'll call on you as we go through. We can start with Seth Engel.
How's it going, Chris?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. So obviously you're a Columbus kid. What does it mean to get a win here this weekend after coming close multiple times through your college career?
Yeah, it's always special to go back home and play. Ohio State's always had a good team, and we're just doing everything that we can to go 1-0 this week, just like any other week.
Go to Max Ralph.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for your time. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. What does Ohio State do well on special teams?
They're very sound in their scheme. For a long time, Urban Meyer coached them and ran their special teams unit, and now I think Ryan Day's taken over, or it's Kerry Combs who does the special teams. But they've always been sound, always had good specialists. They always do their job.
Back to you, Seth.
So question about Jordan Stout, and you guys obviously do a pretty good job of giving the other team bad field position against a team like Ohio State. How could that really come into play, especially down the wire?
Yeah, special teams has always had a huge impact on the game. Jordan's had an unbelievable year of flipping the field, being able to pin guys inside their own 20, inside their own 10. And even if we're backed up, giving us, more field position, even if it's getting it over the 50 on a backed up punt, I think it'll have a huge impact, not only on punt, but KOR and kickoff return and punt return as well.
Andrew Destin.
Chris, in terms of family or friends that are going to be in attendance at the game, I know you talked about just a few minutes ago about being an Ohio guy, but what kind of, family and friends will be in attendance for you?
Yeah, so my immediate family, mom, dad, and sister will be there, and then I have a couple aunts and uncles, and my grandma might come up from. They live in the Cincinnati area, which is about 2 hours away, so they'll be able to make the trip.
You have another question, Andrew?
Yeah, I was just going to follow up and say, is that frequent that you have that same gathering, or is that specific to this Ohio State game?
Pretty much specific to Ohio State game. My parents and my sister will come to most games, home or away. But it's kind of funny that most of our away games, like Michigan, Michigan State, Illinois, Northwestern, they're all closer than Penn State. So it's easy for them to travel in the Big Ten.
Seth?
So did you look at any other places kind of outside of the Big Ten to give you that opportunity to see family?
I had a walk-on offer from Ohio State and a couple other places, but really was kind of trying to stay in the Big Ten. It was going to be somewhat close to home. I was one of those guys who kind of wanted to get away after high school and kind of go have a new experience somewhere else. So Penn State was kind of the perfect choice for me.
Andrew?
It made sense for then, given what you just said there, to go a little bit away from home. But did you grow up an Ohio State fan at all, or go to any games at the Horseshoe?
Yes, I did. I was a Ohio State fan for 17 and a half years. And then as soon as I committed here, immediately my parents had a garage sale. We sold all our Ohio State stuff. And there may be a couple baby pictures here and there with me in Ohio State gear. But other than that, everything's in the trash or gotten rid of.
Max Ralph?
Being from Westerville, that Columbus area, I mean, how connected are you still to that community? And, do you have friends from back home who bust your chops a little bit heading up into this one?
Yeah, I have a few buddies who still go to Ohio State, and even most of the guys from my school, we either go to Ohio State, UC or Cincinnati, and Ohio University, but they all still are Ohio State fans. So whenever I go home and see a bunch of them, they always give me crap about it, and hopefully I can get some bragging rights by going 1-0 this week.
Andrew Destin?
Is that like a point of contention at all with like family members? I know some people have like cool shirts or hats where it's like split down the middle, half Ohio State, half Penn State. Any cool things like that, banners, flags, things like that in your family?
No, I pretty much got everyone to switch over right away, get rid of all the Ohio State stuff and, pour in with the blue and white. So fortunately, no cool stories with that, no split flags or split hats or anything.
Seth Engel?
So I'm going to change the subject here a little bit. You've been with the program a while. There probably aren't many players on the team who've known Franklin as long as you. I just want to know, when you see a headline in the news, tying Franklin to a new school like USC, how does that make you feel?
I don't think it has anything to do with how I feel. I think really Coach Franklin does a great job explaining each and week that I'm here with you guys. That's my plan, and he doesn't provide any external distractions with any of us. We're always focused on going 1-0 each week, and it's kind of ingrained into our head. I'm sure you hear every guy talking to the media says it, and it's true. And I think that's Franklin's only focus right now is our team and going 1-0 this week.
You have another question, Seth?
No, that's all for me.
Any more questions for Chris? Andrew?
I guess one thing would be, in your years, you've been around this program now for a while. There have been a couple of those seasons where one loss turns into two. How do you avoid making the two losses become to three? Because I know back in 2018, it was Ohio State and Michigan State. In 2020, obviously had a few in a row there. So how do you guys looking to avoid kind of falling into that pit where, two losses becomes three? How have you sought to avoid that?
I think we continue with our process. Continue to, I know it's kind of cliche, but go 1-0. Like we can't focus on the past. The only thing we can do is control the future. And today is Wednesday's practice. We can have the best Wednesday's practice that we've had all year. When we should be doing that every Wednesday, every Thursday, and et cetera. So all we're doing is doing our jobs, focusing internally. What can every player do to get 1% better, and then from then on, we'll focus on Ohio State on Saturday.
You can follow up, Andrew.
Awesome. I guess in your role then, Chris, with special teams, there've been a couple of games where it's been really, really important, like that Iowa game where it was kind of a punter's battle. What are you looking to do specifically in this game if special teams does end up playing a big factor?
Yeah, so, my job is to make Jordan's job easier, and that's on field goal and punt. So my only goal is to make sure that Jordan's ready to play. All the snaps are in the right spot for Rafi Checker, who's our holder, and for Jordan on punt so that he can do his job like he's done all season.
Andrew Lee Penwell.
Talk about your relationship with Jordan, and we've all know that the relationship between special teams is down to the second very important. So can you just talk about your relationship with those guys and how it has led to Jordan having such a great season?
Yeah, Jordan's my roommate. He's in the room behind me. He's a great guy. Him and I have spent a lot of time together as specialists do. He's really kind of exploded this year. He's put in all the work, and he's done super well on and off the field. I think not only Jordan's doing well, but our scheme and our special teams guys as a whole are doing well. We're really bought in to the system, and we're going out there, and Coach Lorg calls it doing our 111th, doing our job. And I think the team has really rallied around Coach Lorg, and obviously Jordan's had an incredible year, and he's going to keep having an incredible year.
Max?
Yeah, Jordan, after the Iowa game, mentioned that he's pretty close with Torrey, Iowa's punter. And I think punters, with the whole For the Brand thing, there's a lot of punters across the country that are pretty close. Is that a thing with long snappers too, or is it a special teams thing in general?
Yeah, so I think it's more of a specialist thing. There was one point, I believe it was 2 years ago, where there was, I think, 3 or 4 snappers in the Big Ten that were all around my area in Central Columbus and Central Ohio. So we all kind of know each other from different camps coming in and out of high school, and all follow each other on social media. So it's really kind of a tight-knit group, if you would say. Like I know a bunch of guys. I know the guy at Texas and Michigan State, Ohio State. I know all those guys, and obviously we're competing against each other, and we're going at it on the field, but obviously we're not banging heads. We're not going right at each other. So in a way, yes, we do have a little bit of a bond, and specialists are kind of known for that, being a little bit more lackadaisical, because we can't be completely focused on the game right now. Like sometimes we got to stay loose a little bit and can't get too worked up about it. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Andrew Lee?
Sorry, I forgot to take my hand down.
All good. Max, you have another question?
Yeah, I'll follow up on that. I mean, National Tight Ends Day has been making some headlines lately. Should we get a National Specialists Day in there?
I think we should get a National Snappers Day instead of just the specialists, but that's just my opinion.
Any more questions for Chris? All right. Thanks, Chris. Thanks everyone for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.